Phantom Sounds Production. What up, sound?
We're back, y'all. Let's see those juice boxes in the comments. Let's see those juice boxes, y'all. If you were in the show, hit that plus sign. We might need 2 ladies, y'all, so just be on standby. Hey. Hold on, y'all. Hello, y'all, and welcome to the Red Room Talk. We are back from our break. This is the season 4 premiere, y'all. You can find us here every Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm your host, Jen. The Red Room Talk is a show about love, intimacy, and interpersonal relationships, including erasing different social stigmas. We are here to have candid discussions and cut through stigmas to show that in the end, no matter your background, we all have commonalities when it comes to matters of the mind and heart. Nothing is off the table in the Red Room Talk. Last episode, if you missed us, that's okay. You can find us on YouTube by clicking the link in my profile and subscribing. Last episode, we talked about toxic relationships, but this week we're going to discuss healing in our season 4 premiere. We're back and we're better, y'all. Tonight in the Red Room, we have an all-star cast. We have G-Way. We have Top Badge, Black Snake Moan. We have, coming soon, Top Badge Calypso and Indigo Monet. Let's find out how the panel feels about healing. But before we get started, all that I ask is you keep your mind open and your language clean. First things first, go ahead and hit that plus sign if you are on the show, and if you are willing to jump in, 2 ladies, go ahead and hit that plus sign.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Black, what up, my boy?
What up, G-Wave? Salute to the room.
How are you gentlemen doing? The ladies. Oh, here we go. Here's Calypso.
Leo.
If we have an extra lady in the house, go ahead and hit that plus sign, y'all, and we'll go ahead and get things started. We'll wait on, see if Indigo ends up showing up. So, as of course, we are polite here in the Red Room, so we're going to let ladies introduce themselves first. So go ahead and introduce yourself and let us know about your live and your show or anything you got going on.
Hi, y'all. I'm the one and only Calypso. You know, I'm the only one on here. Okay. I have my show tomorrow, Calypso's Last in Love at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. What else I got going on? It's about to be busy for me. My schedule is going to switch all the way up. So you know the phrase that everybody use on here, catch me if you can. So yeah, it's going to be brand new things. Thanks for having me as well.
Yes. All right, go ahead and introduce yourself, Black Snake Moon.
Greetings, everyone. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Listen, I'm Black Snake Moan. There's no other like me. It's the name BSM. You can find me on these tag streets in the AM, top of the hour. I have the same thing going on. We getting ready to start the 41st edition Gunny Games Battle of the Stars, the 31st edition Gunny Games Battle of the Bros. This thing gonna kick off the third, fourth, and fifth for the Stars, and the eighth and ninth for the Bros. You can catch Black Snake Moan and Bud 810. We gonna max it out. Either you pull up on it or you pull out on it. You're gonna catch us August 8th, 10 p.m. main event on these tag streets.
Okay. Oh, I think he's froze with a really nice smile.
Wowzers.
Sorry. Um, well, I'm your host, Jen. You can find me here every Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you can find me late nights into early mornings. I'm so tickled. You can find me late nights into early mornings. Oh, here we go. And then also I have some new things coming up with some ladies here on the app, so we'll let you know more about that later. Um, but yeah, go ahead and introduce yourself, G-Way. Oh no. Leanne.
Of course, y'all know me. I'm froze. Am I good?
Yep, you're messing up.
G-Way, get it together, G-Way.
Yeah, he froze with a smile. Don't get off my neck.
Sorry. Any ladies that would like to jump in the box, go ahead and jump in. We do need an extra, so go ahead, or we could just leave it open for questions. G-Way, you might need to restart. You might need to.
Switch over. All right, okay.
How to keep landing on his smile though? That's the funny part right there.
Ooh, look, we got Miss Sassy Red. How you say it? Hey,
What's
look,
going
coming
on,
in
y'all?
the clutch. Go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us about your show.
All right, hey everybody, this is your girl Miss Sassy Red, Miss Booked and Busy and Booked. Y'all can catch a double dose of me on Mondays, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I do a Messy Mondays, which is the show, and then you can catch me on my featured show at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time called So Amazing. It's a virtual maze board game. You can check me out, hit me with the pay, and check it out. You can also catch me on Fridays and Escape That Room with ATL Live. I am the co-host, and that is at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard
Okay. Well, I'll go ahead and introduce G-Way. G-Way, no way.
Time.
You can find him every Thursday at 9 p.m. on Getting Lit. You can find him every Wednesday and Friday for the Red Light Special at 9 p.m. You can call him Mr. 9 p.m. And he has a plethora of other things he dabbles in. But we will go ahead and get the show started until he comes in. So there's no getting around it. Breakups are terrible, even if they're handled with compassion. They can shake you to your very foundation, causing you to question your confidence and your faith in love itself. If you've been broken up with, you're grappling with the very real pain of rejection on top of mourning a lost love. When you're the one who chose to end things, there's often guilt swirled into your sadness. Even in the most amicable mutual situations, a split is an ending, and in a culture that emphasizes forever as a relationship goal, we're made to feel like an ending is a failure. Breakups are painful, and from healing from a breakup looks very different for everybody. So what I want to know is, what does healing look like to you, and how long do you think healing should take? There's no particular order, so whoever wants to grab it can grab it.
Ladies first.
All right. I feel like there's no time limit. Like, you know what I mean? Limit somebody's you can't limit somebody's time of when they're done with healing. Some things will hit stronger for others. Some feel like, to get over one person, I have to get with another person. So that becomes a thing. Um, that's pretty much it. But definitely, I would say also consider self-care, self-love is definitely important. Make sure you're taking care of you. Some people don't take that time that's needed, necessary, and are quick to move on to the next relationship, causing issues for the next person because you haven't resolved what took place in the past.
Definitely, you have to heal by therapy. A lot of people don't go through therapy and acknowledge the issue first, work on that. They jump to new relationships after new relationship. For me personally, I like to work out what I have at hand, because learning people all over again and new people and new attitudes, it's just coming out my mouth. That's a lot of work, just saying it. So if I can mend what's right in front of me, I'm definitely going to do that. But you definitely have to go through therapy, heal what the issue was, heal yourself. Then once you do that, then take time off for you and move on if that's what you choose to do. At the end of the day, whatever you choose to do with your life, you do with your life. So many people worry about what other people do with their lives and what they doing with this person, that person, whatever they want to do with their body, their life. That's their life. Let them choose their life however they want. Bottom line for me.
I definitely agree with
What
that.
healing looks like for me is kind of the same as the two ladies, but I like to throw two common things in there. Michael Jackson had a song called "That Man in the Mirror." I think you got to look at that man in the mirror first of all, and then second of all, I'm from Texas. Uh, we love to put 30s and Vows on anything, Cadillacs and everything else. But there's a rapper out of Houston by the name of Zero. And once you look at that man in the mirror, I think you got to do what Zero did. Zero said he found me. So you got to find yourself when you're looking at man in the mirror, and that's that loving on yourself, healing yourself, getting back to your spiritual grassroots, just making that reconnection with the things that got you to where you was, your morals and your values, and that's what healing looks like with me. There's absolutely no time limit on it because of the fact that breakups are nasty and all over the place.
Yeah, I agree with the panel completely. Me personally, yeah, put your eyes down. Yeah, Jet game, Leo game. Um, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, man, you got to learn to love yourself again, and that's what a lot of people fail to realize. They feel like because they are single and out here that they gotta have somebody. When really, before you gotta have somebody, in my opinion, this is just my opinion. I feel like you got like everybody else said, you got to get to know yourself. You got to get back to who you are because if you've been in a long, especially a long relationship, you forget who you are as a person because you're so used to of being a unit. So at the end of the day, I feel like you got to learn to love yourself and get to know who you are and get back to who you are. And to me, that's the process of healing, of getting to know who you are and who you are as a person, and what you want, and your self value.
For sure. Healing to me definitely is a mixture, a little bit of what all of you said. Definitely, if you need to seek therapy, there is nothing wrong. There is no shame in that whatsoever. I definitely am totally pro therapy if you need it. Um, I went through a divorce, and so the first step honestly was like Black Nick Moan, looking in the mirror. I had to like look at myself because I couldn't just be mad at someone else when there was something I allowed. So I had to really look within myself, saying, you know what, girlfriend, you allowed this. We need to look at ourselves. We can't just look at him and say like, oh, it was all his fault, while the things that led to the end were, I had to look at myself and what I allowed. I definitely, after a while, I definitely went to therapy. It wasn't just for that, but just for my own self. That definitely helped. And then time. Sometimes it's just time. They often say that it takes just as much time to get over something as you got in it. It's definitely, time is definitely wonderful, because the longer you have, the less it hurts. You know what I mean? It's like when you have a glass of, say, Kool-Aid, right? And it's the more time, the more water you have, so it waters that pain down. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely think time is great, but it's definitely reflection and looking back, and it's healing is ugly. It's often very ugly, and it hurts and it's painful, but healing is growth. The more you grow, the more painful it is, but when you come out on the other side, it's so worth it to take that time. To get therapy, to take time to yourself to see what you like, because often when you're with someone for so long, you you define yourself by them. You're not just Jennifer. You're Jennifer and Black Snake Moon. You're defined by a partner. You know what I'm saying? So you have to take your power back. Be all about you and have that self love that we just talked about 2 episodes ago. But make sure you have a lot of self love, and take that time. Um, but if you guys are just pulling up, that's okay. We have so much more to come. You can find us here every Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Red Room Talk. You have to say it like that, or it does not count. We just discussed what does healing look like to you and how long should you take to heal. But in reality, breakups are often the shattering preamble to a new and improved life. That healing we were talking about, one that can eventually include a relationship with someone you're more compatible with. But in those first few brutal days and weeks, you've got every right to feel inconsolable. In time, though, you can move onward and upward. So I want to get a little personal. Tell me about a breakup and how you moved forward. Sorry.
Woo!
Sorry, not
Woo!
sorry. This is the Red Room. We have nothing else to
Okay,
say.
Jen up here digging deep.
You know,
Right.
nothing
Dig
is
into
off
my
the table.
personal files. Um,
Don't be afraid, y'all. This is a safe space.
Safe space for people to take notes and
Hey,
get
look, to take notes. Look, someone might be looking for
ammunition later.
someone might be looking for a calypso. So look, hey,
right, right,
For
right.
me, like it, I think it comes with your who you are, your where you are in your life. What level you are. Because if you throw that question at a 20-year-old, it's going to be different. 30-year-old is going to be different, and so on, right? So with me, again, I try to mend what's at hand, right? A
hmm
lot of times you do have to detach yourself from a situation, and guess what's going to happen? They're going to sit in it, marinate, because a lot of people don't heal the same time you heal, whatever. A lot of people don't move on from stuff as fast as you or whatever. So a lot of times with me, the breakup happens, and then it's that marination time, right? Then they want to come back and be like, I regret. I want to work it out. And sometimes, time heals everything, and you didn't heal completely from them. And then they want to reel it back in. So that's why you got to have that time. You can't rush into something really fast. You know what I mean? Because them feelings are still gonna be there with that person you done spend all this time with. You never know what the outcome gonna be. But um again, like when them people come into your life, you done shared so much time with them and all of that. And I weigh out the pros and the cons. And a lot of times them pros outweigh them cons where you don't wanna, you think about them times y'all done mingled in that bed and it be them good times. You be like, I think I want to go back over there. You know what I mean? You never know what may happen. You never know how the world may bring that person back in your life. But I don't know. It's just, again, I'm big on that therapy thing. A lot of people feel as though certain groups of people, they think therapy is for crazy people, therapy is for this, that. But therapy is everything. You got to talk it out. You can't keep it bottled up. So therapy is what I go with.
Well, I don't know about the other two. I think Calypso could go a little deeper, but I'm gonna take that next plunge.
That was a good
Listen, Jen.
avoidance question. That
Yeah,
was a good avoidance.
listen, Jen.
I see that.
Listen,
I see what you did
listen,
there. I see what you did there.
listen. That one breakup. Even though that thing was like a thorn in my side. Listen, Sexy Red. I found myself parking my car, hopping on a bus, ride down there. G way. I'm trying to ride it down on something. Listen, I'm looking in the windows. Because all thing like Calypso was trying to say. All I kept thinking about was them nights. Them early mornings. Them breakfasts. Them Christmas. I mean, I did all of it. I even sat in my car with a bottle of Bailey's, cask and cream. G Way, I'm turning up. G Way, I'm turning up and not even thinking I'm on private property. Lawman pull up on me. What you doing, man? Listen, I'm looking at that house right there. You on private property. You got to talk to me. I ain't trying to hear what the man say. I almost go to jail. Turn back around. I didn't drive back down. I mean, I didn't catch a bus. I drove back down. I'm burning midnight oil and gas and money and because that was that good thing. Of course, I'm sitting there, mama's like, ain't no use you crying, ain't no use you crying. But it was plenty dark nights, didn't want to bathe, didn't want to eat,
Couldn't
all of
sleep.
it. Sleep,
Couldn't sleep. None of that.
ain't going to work, ain't trying to go to work.
Nope. Nope. I definitely agree with you on that because my worst, I definitely shoot. I lost my job. I think I was working at Sony at the time. Like I didn't want to do nothing. Like my heart was hurting. I drank far too much, far too much. But it taught me a lesson. It taught me to, at the end of the day, remember who I was because I was so much invested to the person. I ain't gonna say their name, but I was so invested to that person that I felt like without them I couldn't live. Without them I couldn't breathe. Because everything I did for them for so long was us. It wasn't me. So like yeah, that I feel everything that Black Snake was saying. Like it was tough. It was really really tough. It put me in a dark place, depression. I experienced anxiety when I was the one that was like, you ain't got anxiety. That's BS. Yeah, I went through that whole time for about a good year. So, like, but yeah, it made me stronger at the end of the day. That's the best I can say.
Mm. I would say that just to piggyback, I'm like, it is something to where I do believe you just have to sit in it. Sometimes get to a point to self reflect, on I mean, I feel like it's a sense of where either what went wrong or what they did wrong, what you did wrong, what could have been better. It's a constant thing that may play back in your mind as to at least the right and the wrongs, what you could have done, what could have been said, um, ways that you could fix it, ways that you could just take the time to get over it. It's just something that you just have to deal with. To me, I don't feel like it's a sense of where even though some people may feel like it's something that you'll just
get over just to get with somebody else. It's something that you really do have to sit with self, and just deal with it.
So true.
Definitely.
Um, so for me, I mean, we were married. We were together for 6 years. Um, and so I kind of like lived and breathed him. I was a wife. I was the go get his plate, type of wife. I was very homemaker, very but it was very toxic. So when I first I like hit a lot, like he was abusive, so I'd hit a lot of abuse. By the time I got out and like my family started taking heed because I let them know kind of what was going on, because I hid it for so long. um it was different because I felt like I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed that I was allowing what I was allowing. um I had a lot of shame. And it was nothing that I did, obviously, but I also, um, I had to like really like look within myself, like, okay, we're not going to lay down. Because it came to the point where this was the last time that he had did something. I was finally like, you know what, this is it. I'm not taking this no more. When I seen that there was no choice but to walk, I ran like the wind. I said, I will never be with you again. This is never gonna, I will never be your wife ever again. Like, this is the last day I spend as your wife. And I mean, he fought me for a year for the divorce. I mean, it was really ugly for a long time. It took me, honestly, it took me a couple of years to really like it to real, because at first I was I was having like that 20-year-old mentality, like, let me just do what I do. I was, that whole, you know, nobody ever gonna love you, but I was like proving it. Oh yes, they will. Uh-huh. They will, and they do. So I really wasn't healing because I was like doing so many things. I was going out to the bar, I was going out to the club. I was like, I was 21 years old again. I was out here living my life, but I promise you, I was not happy because at the end of the day, I was still going home alone. I was still sad. I still wasn't healing. And when I finally, like, I remember it was like an epiphany. I was in the shower actually, and I was just like, you know what, God, I can't do it no more. Like, this is not me. I'm out here doing all these things. This is not me. I'm not a party animal. I don't do all these things. Like, I want someone. I want to be with someone. And I finally, like, I remember I just sobbed in the shower. And the next day I was like, nope, we're going to pick ourselves up. And I really just took the time to start healing. I got into counseling. I mean, I started doing things that I loved. Like, I remember, like, I used to beg to go to this. It's so silly, but it was like this Christmas display. And I was like, why have I been waiting on a man? And one day I got up, I got dressed in my Sunday best. I went down, I went to this Christmas thing, and I ended up like meeting someone there. Like, I had so much fun. And it was like, wow, I've been really waiting on a man for something. And I just started doing everything by myself. I started going on random road trips. I started doing everything that I wanted to do with him, but by myself. And I had so much more fun. There was no arguing, there was no nothing. And I really just started living my life for me. I started trying new things. I did things that I was always scared to do, and I just really just started living my life. And that's really like what started the healing process, was just taking time for me and what I wanted. Because I had always, like, it was hard even in the beginning, like, to go into a store and not buy him something. Like,
Hmm.
my brain was so programmed, you know what I mean? So I had to really, like,
Right.
I would feel guilt over buying something for myself. So I had to like really just start living my life for myself. And
Hmm.
that's really what it took. It took for me to just have that moment where it's like, okay, it's time. You know what I mean? You just have to have that epiphany eventually. You know what I mean? So, if you guys are just pulling up, that's okay. You haven't missed much. We still have a lot more to discuss, and you can find us here every Saturday on the Red Room Talk at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Shout out to these top three bosses, y'all. We have a contest every week. Whoever is the top gifter of the show gets a graphic. But we just discussed what healing looks like to you, how long you should take to heal. Tell me about a breakup and how you move forward, which we did that. And now I want to know a little more specifically about future relationships. Maybe the two of you said that you'd stay friends, as many people do. Keeping the connection helps things stay civil and makes the transition less abrupt, but it can also be a glitch. especially when you do it for practical reasons. Like if you work together, it can be a tough task. A post breakup friendship may well happen in time, but time is the key word here. Very few exes make a seamless transition into friendship immediately. And if you think you've done it, see what happens when one of you starts dating someone else. Okay.
Mhm.
With that being said, when do you think is a good time to move on to a new relationship? And is the saying true? To get over someone, you have to get under someone. Dun, dun, dun. So,
A, she double hockey sticks. No, that is not true. Getting
I,
under
I
someone is
second that.
not the resolution.
I second that emotion.
No, because I can speak for all the fellas in here because that's a guy's thing. I don't know why most people think it's for women, but most guys that's been in a relationship and we get out of a relationship, the first thing we think, oh, I gotta get some. Oh, I gotta get to it. I gotta get some. I gotta get some. I gotta get some. And then you realize after you get some, the whole time you're getting some, you thinking about her. But at the end of the day, like we've all been saying, and like we're gonna keep saying, you got to get to know and love yourself. Self love is the best love. If you can't love yourself, you can't move on. You can't go into that next relationship. You can't go and lay under somebody because you're going to think that it's somebody else. And at the end of the day, it's not somebody else. It's the fact that you're trying to replace or fill a void, and it's not going to fill that void because when she leaves or you leave, you're going to be right back thinking about that same
Mhm.
person. While you're doing it, what I'm saying, it feels good, it's great, but as soon as it's over and that climax happens, as Usher says, you're gonna be right back feeling crazy, depressed. So that's my take on that. But that I don't feel like that's the best remedy, getting under somebody else. You can try it, but when you walk away, you're still gonna be thinking about that same person. It's not gonna help. It's gonna actually make it worse.
Mm,
Mhm.
getting under the same person you left is what we're saying, or getting
no,
under somebody
it
else.
says, when do you think is a good time to move on to a new relationship? And is the saying true to get over someone to get under someone?
Hmm. Again, it goes with the level of where you are in your life. Like, them 20-year-olds, they testing the water. They're not gonna stick with the same thing. But for me, again, I'm trying to stay with that one. It don't work. Look, I'm still friends with my exes. Like, that's a lot of people can't say that. Why y'all holding grudge? I don't know why people hold grudges with people that you already done spent all this time. You shared your life with them, and how can you hate this person? Like, how? I don't get it. But anyways, um, I'm gonna get back under them, like just to see if it's still. This is what we need, baby. Can't you understand? This what I want. I want you. But if it doesn't work, again, like just be peaceful with them. But going testing the other grass and all that, nah, it's too much out there. Y'all don't understand. Like, diseases and all these things are still there. There's no protection from that. You know, you again, self care, like G Way say, you got to protect yourself. You have to.
Got to, man.
Just like y'all heard about that celebrity lady that didn't know she had AIDS for 10 years. How did you not know that? You didn't go, she didn't go to the doctor for 10 years. She's one of the Instagram models that's been with a lot of celebrities. So now they got to backtrack all that time, from 10 years to see who she was with. And those are the things you got to keep in mind when it comes down to self-care. Yourself, wanting to be on this earth longer, protecting yourself, and just try to work it out with that one. If it doesn't work, take your time, take baby steps going for further.
For sure. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I co-sign with you, Jen. Just the sense of having that sense of just, what I'm saying, resolving the issue that you had, at least with the past. Like, I don't believe it's a sense to where, I mean, people do, but I don't feel as though that's something that's healthy. You know what I mean? To move on and you haven't dealt with. You haven't sat with the thoughts of being with the previous person that you were with prior. You know what I mean? Definitely make sure that that's resolved, that's healed, that there's no strings attached, because people feel like, even, you know what I'm saying, to me, I feel like if you have kids involved, that may be a different type of situation. But you know what I'm saying, it's a time to where y'all broken up, and he's still trying to come in and get it, and you giving it up, and you just feel like, oh, I'm just used to that. And then at the same time, you trying to entertain somebody else. Cut the ties, let it go when you feel like it's necessary to let it go, because you don't want to bring it into something else. Now you're killing
That's
some
not fair.
yeah, killing something new before it even gets started. So make
Yeah,
sure your past
definitely.
situation is resolved before you get on to something else.
Facts. Big facts.
For sure.
Big
Definitely,
facts.
definitely. Um, I don't know about the timetable. I think when you reach that level for yourself, uh, I think I don't know who sings the song "When I Can Breathe Again."
Mm,
I'm breathing again. The air smells different, so I feel like that is my time. I've put myself in a position to uh, answer that question of being single and available.
mm,
And I've announced it just here 2 weeks ago. I am single, but now I'm available. And that took a while, but I'm at a place where I can not have to worry about no exes. I think I saw somebody in the comment. I don't do the exes either. I don't do the ex wives, the ex girlfriends. I don't do none of that. Once them chapters and them books are closed, they done.
We ain't opening that book no more.
mm.
Nope.
For sure. Um, so honestly, is when you've really taken the time to heal that part of you, because you don't, it's like you're gonna take bricks from your past, right? And you're gonna end up building the same house you left, and that it's gonna crumble. It's gonna crumble every time. If you take a broken person and put it with a healed person, there should be two healed people for a new relationship. You need two healed people for a healthy relationship, or what you're gonna end up having is a trauma bond. And it's not
Ooh.
gonna be healthy, it's not gonna be cute, or you're gonna end up with a what I call a parasite host relationship. Someone who's taking, 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 taking. They don't know how to give because they're so stuck in this mindset of what they were already in. And I'm going to tell you, even in the beginning of trying to date, I was a lot like that. I mean, I was an abused woman. So I'm like, anything someone told me, it was bull. They were lying. Like, but they was. Okay, they was. But, I wouldn't, but it was a learning experience. And take what you've gone through. You don't want to go through something and not learn from it. Okay. I went through something very damaging, very ugly. So I had to make sure that I was going to learn from it. Because if you go through all that, you go through all this ugly stuff and you do not take the time to learn from it and grow from it, you are doing yourself a huge disservice.
Yeah.
It took
Facts.
me, I remember, honestly, it took him and it took my ex, it took us 4 years to have a conversation. And what had happened was, like, a lot of people feel like they need to keep going back for, like, oh, let me just tell me why. Just why. Just no, we don't care, okay? Because I'm gonna tell you what happened. After 4 years, we had a conversation. He told me he was sorry for all the things he did. He explained each and everything he did. And when I got that, and I really thought I needed that. I really thought I needed to hear that. I really thought I needed to hear sorry and to have that closure. But let me tell you, closure, excuse my language, is bullshit. Okay? Because I'm gonna tell you, in that moment when I got it, I realized I didn't even need this from you. I had already like did my ugly thing. I'd already did the ugly healing part. I'd already went through all that, and I realized in that moment that closure is kind of crap. Like, it's really just something that you tell yourself because you want to stay attached to that person in some way. And so as long as there's no closure, you always have that in. But I'm going to tell you, when that man said to me, "Can I get you back?" and it was 4 years later and I was that strong woman, heck no, you can't. Okay? Let me tell you, that was that moment when I took my power back and I was like, Yes, like I have my power. I felt so strong in that moment because the person I was before, I was always forgiving him in our relationship. Always, always, always. And I thought, I'm like, you know what? This isn't even the same woman that you married. I'm a completely different person. You wouldn't even like me. I'm gonna be honest, because you seem to like what you like, but it's not me, baby. I promise you. So it really takes just the time and the growth. Like I had grown so much. I wasn't even that same mindset. Like now I look back and unfortunately, like I look at weak women and I'm like, how? You know what I'm saying? And then it's hard to like even see myself, and I think that's why I can't stand weak women is because I see myself.
Mm.
I was a weak woman for so long, and I'm like, I can't stand it. I can't stand it. You know what I mean? Like, I really, honestly, I can't stand to see a weak woman just bowing down to a man. And so, it really just, I think the time is when you are healed, because you don't want to start damaging someone else and questioning them all the time, especially if they are doing something good. You know what I mean? They're doing these beautiful things for you, and you're like, oh, it just like, why do you want to do it? Don't question it. Why say why? Let someone treat you right. Let someone do that, because what you're going to do is you're going to run them off, and you're going to wish like, dang, that was a good one, and then it's going to be your fault.
Mhm.
You know
Facts.
what I mean? And the saying, is it true to get under someone to get over? And no, it's not healthy. But I'm not gonna lie, I did that. I did that, and let me tell you firsthand, and that don't work. It don't work. You're gonna be mad at yourself later, and you're gonna be really mean to them, because I was very mean to anybody who I came across. I was like, thanks, bye. I was just in that mode. I was really mean and ugly, and that was not me. And so yeah, hurt people. So take the time to heal before you move on to somebody else, because you don't want to be that person who is the person who is hurting someone else, because hurting your person should hurt you. um a little bit, just a little bit. If you are just pulling up, that's okay. You can find us here every Saturday on the Red Room Talk at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you have not missed it all, we still have more to discuss. We just discussed, what does healing look like, how long should it take to heal, talking about a breakup and how you move forward, and when do you think is a good time to move on a new relationship. And now we're going to reflect.
Mhm.
When faced with difficult feelings, many people opt for bottling them up in an attempt to avoid the pain associated with them. As much as you can distract yourself with fun activities, be careful not to box your feelings up completely. That backfires, because trying to hold back your thoughts ironically encourages you to think the more explains. His own research demonstrates that when people going through a breakup tried blocking out those feelings, they ended up feeling worse. So definitely sit with your feelings, sit with the hurt, sit with the pain, and really hit it face forward. So what I want to know is, what was the hardest thing, like, that you really that you had to endure while healing? Like, what was the hardest thing uh, while healing from that breakup that you had to deal with?
Rejection. I hate the fact where, yes, people need time to think things over and, just evaluate the situation, right? But it shouldn't take days. It shouldn't take weeks. And you're not answering the call, or you're not calling, you're not communicating. You just completely shut the other person lines of communication off. Like, I feel like that's the biggest disrespect for me, because if we was in a relationship and we shared that bond, for you to completely shut off our communication. I'm not rushing you to talk to me, but how long does it take for you to, think about the situation and act on it? I feel like if you stop lines of communication completely for days and weeks, I feel as though you're trying to manipulate, you controlling, you trying to do something. It's a mind thing. It's where you're really trying to make that person feel like it just builds up that more you want them more. I don't know. I want y'all to give me some examples, or insight on that as well, how y'all feel about that. But I feel like that rejection part eats at you more. Knowing like what's the answer, what are we gonna do? That part that eats me up. That rejection part. I don't like that part.
For sure.
Yeah.
I say rejection is good We said mentioned about a week. What about the people who, it seems like it's a trend right now. A lot of people can't express themselves. They can write it, take somebody else's caption and make it kind of fit what they're unable to express. And I just want to share this little piece, Jen, if I may, up under
Sure.
the Calypso deal and by rejection and why we're at the point of where we is. Uh, Anonymous person, a woman, and out to my black women, right? My women, period. It says, I'm an unprotected black woman, unprotected. I've been molested by my father, beat by my boyfriend, almost killed twice, cheated on by those I've given the most trust to, betrayed by friends, and lost everything twice: cars, cribs, and jobs. I've been homeless, broken, and lost. I'm not perfect, but I hurt. Some things healed and some things not, but I'm loyal with so much love to give, just never received it in this world. Dudes call me crazy, but I'm just an unprotected black woman. So when I read things like that, that's motivating, for me to make sure that I'm not out here misleading nobody, opening up that love door, fondling and getting people getting women, all wrapped up or this, that, and other. That's making me on my P's and Q's to, as a single and available man, is to make sure that I can catch some of those closed line of communication, but expressly well through other people's writing. And I find that very eye opening and very catching too as well.
For sure. I like that. Thank you for sharing.
The hardest part for me is I gotta go with Baldy is getting used to being alone. That's just the hardest thing. Like, yeah, I'm a truck driver, so I'm on the road. So I'm used to. I was used to coming home like, honey, I'm home. Meet me at the door, hug, kiss, whatever we finna do. But coming in the house, honey, I'm home, and nobody answers. Or going out to eat, and you're used to going to Cheddar's and getting or going to Applebee's getting the 2 for 22, or you know what I'm saying. But you got to get the 1 for 1. Like it's just rough. It takes some time to get over that, and that was the hardest part for me, getting used to being by myself.
Mhm.
I'm used to with the light. With that relationship that I'm speaking on, was she loved pink. So anything I seen with pink, I bought. Period. I don't care if it was scarf, blouse, shoes. So when I seen pink, it was like, can I get? No, no, no. I don't need that. I don't need that. It's pink.
Mhm.
She's not here anymore. It's getting used to being alone. That was the toughest part for me. Like literally getting used to being by myself, doing for myself, eating by myself, going out by myself, taking trips by myself. Like that took a good year and a half for me to get used to. Literally being alone. That was the hardest part for me, to be honest.
Mm. Ooh, I would say for me, I'm gonna just piggyback off of Eugene because I'm like for the longest, I felt as though I was that type of person to where I needed that closure to be like, why, what was happening, what was taking place. You know what I'm saying? The thought process of feeling as though that was something that was needed. But then I think the greater part about it was having that lesson learned of sometimes it's not even the sake of them providing it to you, but sometimes the silence, them not making a statement or calling you back or at least giving you that reason or wanting to have that conversation was that closure.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes people are not going to be open enough to or respect you enough at that point, like when it's over and done, to provide that to you. So you have to at least make up in your mind that's the closure that you needed. The fact that they're not going to communicate with you, they're shutting it off. They don't care to communicate. Like that's just what it is. So realistically, it's altogether for me, it was just a lesson learned and saying like, why do you even need that? Like that's not even something that you know what I mean? Because especially if you broke up because of them lying, it's a sense to where them providing you the excuse, the reason, they could also be in the same process of lying to you to tell you that. So it's not something that you know really need. It's the sense of you being mindful enough to know like what happened is what happened, and just take for what you got and take it as a lesson learned.
For sure.
Right.
Um, kind of what I was saying earlier. One of the hardest things to endure a while was honestly my part in it. It was looking at myself like, wow, you allowed this, like, because I just kept wondering, like, how did he do that? Like, how did? Because before him, he was my first relationship, obviously my first and only marriage. But I was like, everybody who knew me knew, like, before him, I was like one of those, like, psh, no dude could ever tell me nothing. I was and and shoved in it, okay, because nobody could tell me nothing. I was like that strong, boisterous, like, and then I'm like, how did he do that? Like, how did he take? How did I allow that? I guess I should say, how did I allow someone to take me down so far? So oftentimes, like, you think you have to, like when I ever hear someone say, like, "Oh my God, I love him with everything I have," I'm like, oh, I want to shake them. No, girl, no, you keep some of that for you. No, what you do is you love yourself first. They love themselves first, and whatever you have left over is what you love each other with, and that's how it grows. You water them, they water you, and you grow. When you're taking something, which he was constantly a taker, and I'm a giver, so people like
Mhm.
that are toxic to people like me. So that was like really the hardest thing, was just looking within myself. And honestly, like you've all said, like being alone. I've been alone for 7 years. Let me tell you, I have moments where I'll be like, and I'll just kind of like cry to myself. Yes, I cry. Hey, I'm human. But I'll cry to myself, like, you know what? Um, like even now, it's been a long time since I've had a hug. I can't even remember the last time I had a hug. I really can't. It's 7 years later, I still sleep on the same side of the bed. I don't sleep in the middle. I don't know why I can't do that, but it's just like I'm waiting for my new partner to be on his side of the bed. So definitely, like, kind of living my life for me was really tough because I was always defined by them. I'm a giver, so I was always constantly getting them things, like thinking of them, like you said, the pink thing, the things they love. I'm one of those people. I love to surprise people and plan these extravagant dates. So it's like it was really just hard to live just for me. That was really the biggest thing. Um, but I found that I really enjoyed time by myself, so much so that now it's probably really hard. I won't say hard to date me, but you're not competing with another man. You're competing with my comfort. You're competing with the love for myself. If you cannot love me at least almost as much as I love myself, it's probably not going to happen,
Mhm.
because I need someone who sees me and they're like, I want a Jen and Juice. Not just any woman. No, I need Jen and Juice and exactly what she has to offer. And if I don't get that, then that's why that's what I just deal with. I just would rather stay by myself and be by myself if you can't love me almost as much as I love you, because I'm phenomenal. So if you don't feel like I'm phenomenal and I am worthy, then hey, I'll spend another 7 years alone until I find someone who does.
Period.
So with that being said, shout out to those top three gifters, y'all. Make sure you hit them with a fave and a follow, and all these beautiful people here in the box. I thank you guys for coming. If you're just pulling up, you're late. You have not missed everything, though, so stay right there. We still have a little bit more to discuss. You can find us here every Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Red Room Talk. We just discussed what healing looks like, how long you should take to heal. You told me about your breakups and how you move forward, when you think it's a good time to move on to a new relationship, and what was the hardest thing you had to endure. But now I want to bring it all together. Whether you're scrolling through old photos of happier times or hitting the refresh on your ex's profile, that's toxic. To analyze every update, please don't do that. Facebook and Instagram can be pure poison for the broken heart. Though it may be temporarily gratifying to satisfy your curiosity regarding what they're up to, I suggest that it's best not to look back, okay? Trying to decode if your ex is happy when he or she has posted a picture from brunch is just going to make you feel bad about yourself. Distance is tough but crucial. Moving logistics and figuring out shared dog custody is one thing. Calling or dropping by to get that sweatshirt you really don't need is another. Do not drop by. Okay, don't do that. It isn't going to help your healing process, and the quicker you can adjust to life without your ex in it, the better it is going to be for you. So we're gonna kind of bring it all together. When do you know that you're finally over a breakup, and why do you think that healing is so important before you start dating someone new? Thank you, thank you. So when do you know that you yourself are over a breakup?
When I'm not
It's the
thinking about
it's
it no
the
more.
Uh,
Go ahead, Black. Go ahead, Black.
it's the Kamna Sutra for me because I can, because I'm there. I'm over it. I'm done. I've reached that point. I went through the dark days. I've sat back. I've watched. I've tried. I did all this, but now I'm at that point to where I said I can, and I'm at that point now. I can.
Yep. When I'm at that point where I can do things without thinking about you, when I'm at that point to where, like, I'm not triggered to think about you. Like when I'm literally not worrying about you, not checking your Facebook, your Instagram, or worried about why you ain't called and who's got your attention. That's how I know I'm healed. That's for me. That's just me. When I'm not thinking about you, when you're not on my mind.
for sure.
Yeah, that's me too. When the I feel like, when the door is closed, the door is closed. Like I'm not, I make sure that all ties are shut off. There's no social media. I don't even have you in the phone. So you decide to call, who is this? I don't, what I'm saying? I'm cutting all ties, social medias, all of that, mama phone number. I'm just done with it all. So that way you're not even a thought. You're an afterthought. I'm not thinking about you. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like I said, you can't move on to something new if you haven't resolved, what you've taken care of in the past.
Right.
For sure.
Facts.
I mean, I agree with everybody. When you back to your regular daily activities, you can eat again, sleep again on a normal
There
schedule.
you go.
You know what I mean? The heart ain't palpitating no more when they call you. You just calm. You at that neutral, calm, relaxed state. That's when you know. But again, I don't close doors completely because again, if I get a phone call and my ex is in a hospital or something, those feelings gonna instantly come back. Like this person was in my life for a reason and a season. I'm not gonna kick them out my life completely like that. Like no, because I know if I get a phone call, I'm gonna be there for them. But yeah, when you're back to your regular schedule programming, it's a done deal. The healing is there.
Right. Most definitely. I agree with that.
For sure. For me, I think it came when I remember there was a day I breathed just a little bit easier, and I was like, wow, like whoa, I can go do stuff, and I don't gotta ask nobody, and I can, it was definitely just when I felt so much happier with myself, like I could go out and do whatever I wanted to do, like I didn't have to answer to nobody. Um, I I could do all different types of things. I would go out and I would have like random excursions, right? I would I would go take a drive and I'd be like, you know what? We're gonna just flip a coin, and wherever this coin, we're gonna turn this way. And I did that, and it was one of the most like freeing moments for me. But it was just really when I realized I could do things without, you know what I'm saying, having like those feelings. Like I didn't even have like a second thought about another person. It was really just all focused on myself and my own growth. I think that's when I kind of just knew, that was it for me. When I didn't even, I could go into a grocery store and I didn't think about like, oh, they would love this or they were just kind of back there somewhere in the mind. And then when you delete that text thread, okay, when you delete that text thread, it's over. Beyonce Hova, okay, it is over, okay. If
All
I
the way.
delete that text thread that I've had for 5 years, okay, it's over, okay. You're gonna feel like you don't even exist at that point. When I break up with someone, it's over. Like you will literally start to wonder if you exist. But definitely, and healing is so important because You want to be your best you. It's not even about the other person anymore. Healing, that is such a personal thing. And forgiveness. Let's not forget, because this is heal. We're talking about healing here, but forgiveness is huge in healing.
Mm.
um you have to forgive yourself, definitely forgive the other person, and that's not for them. Okay, you can forgive someone for something and it not be about like, oh, I know they did this and they did that, but no, forgiveness, that's for you. Holding on to hate and hurt, it's like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. It's not going to happen.
Mhm.
So forgive the other person, forgive yourself for the things that you put yourself through, the things that you accepted, and that's really huge in healing. But if you are just pulling up, you're definitely late. It's almost over. Don't fret. You can find us here every Saturday at 10 p.m. We are at my favorite part of the night. We just discussed healing from relationships, and why healing is so important. But we're going to go to my favorite segment, the Ask Jen Host Hot Seat question. I went to Instagram to ask our peers what they wanted to know so viewers could send questions that are just for me. If you want your question to be featured on next week's episode, make sure you go to my profile in the icon, Instagram icon, and watch out for that host hot seat question post. This week, Yams wrote in and asked, "What advice do you give someone else who is healing from a breakup?" Um, okay, so my advice is honestly take time for yourself, cut off all contact, unless obviously you have children, you have to contact for them, but then make it very bare minimum and only about them, never anything about what you got going on, because if it's a breakup, it's a breakup. There's no amicable, there's no coming back from that. If you're doing that back and forth stuff, that's one thing. That's not a breakup. That's a we want to break up to make up type weird stuff, and then we don't do that here. So,
Toxic.
toxic, yes. So cut off all contact. um Definitely take time for yourself. Get in touch with a counselor. There's nothing wrong with therapy. What Calypso said, I'm very pro therapy. So if you need that, take advantage of that and be around your friends and family, because a lot of times when you're in with somebody, you get really kind of separated from them. So definitely go spend time with your friends and your family and people who make you feel good. Surround yourself with like-minded individuals and go try new things, because that really helps too. So just take time to self-soothe. It's like a dog licking its wounds. Go take your time to get in the corner and lick your wounds. You know what I'm saying? Self-healing.
Mhm.
um but through every breakup, we are left depleted, heartbroken, and undergoing several stages of loss. Much as if when you lose someone in life, you go through the stages of grief. Many times there's shame, disbelief, unworthiness, and other traumatic emotional issues that arise. You can heal after a breakup, you can regain your confidence, and place your heart back in balance. After the initial shock, anger, sadness, and acceptance, you can pass on the greatest source of healing, which is what? What did I say? Forgiveness. A breakup brings uncertainty about the future, but what will life be like without your partner? Well, will you find someone else? Will you end up alone? These unknowns are often seen worse than an unhappy relationship. But just take time for yourself and definitely get to know yourself, and those things will all come together. But forgiveness is huge, you guys. If you're just pulling up, this was the Red Room Talk. You can find us here every Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tonight's topic was healing after a breakup. You're definitely late, but don't fret. You can find us on YouTube, which is posted every week by clicking the icon on my profile and subscribing. This was the season 4 premiere. I love all of y'all who came tonight. Thank you for jumping in, Miss Sassy Red. As always, though, to end out the show, we come to a place of healing and wrap up the show with a quote. And then I will let you all introduce yourselves or reintroduce yourselves. So excuse me, when you are standing in a forest of sorrow, you cannot imagine that you could ever find the way to a better place. But if someone can assure you that they themselves have stood in that same place and now have moved on, sometimes this will bring hope. Elizabeth Gilbert. So I thank you all for coming, you guys. It has been a great red room. You guys have all given out your hearts here. So thank you guys. Make sure you guys hit these folks with a fave. Go ahead and reintroduce yourselves. As of course, ladies first. Tell us about your lives, about shows, about anything you guys have coming up. Hit those top 3 bosses with a fave, because the top gifter wins a graphic. So let us know about y'all.
Thanks, Jen, for having me. I was knocked out. I had to wake up, set an alarm. Uh, everybody, blessings and prosperity to everybody. I'm Calypso the Lioness. Y'all can find me, especially on tomorrow. The featured show, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Sunday. Calypso's Lasting Love. Learn about your five love languages. Know how to give and receive love to the world. My schedule's getting ready to change. I'm super busy now. So, again, y'all gonna catch me up on IG, see what's going on in Calypso's jungle. All are welcome in the jungle anytime, safe over there. Thanks to everybody that's here. Appreciate you guys. Black, Sassy, G, Wade, Jen, of course. Y'all have a great evening. Blessings to y'all, and thanks again for having me.
All right.
Definitely.
Well, hey y'all. Again, this is your girl, Miss Sassy Red. You can normally catch me on Monday nights. I'm doing Messy Mondays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I do also have a feature show on Monday nights at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time called So Amazing. You can also, again, at the end of the week, you can catch me on Fridays nights at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, being the co-host at ATL Live, doing Escape That Room. I came over here just to watch the show, but I was like, listen, I can also be a help too. So I'm like, I felt like this was good
Appreciate you.
information. I did take some notes, so I'm like, listen, I'll double back and get into some other stuff because I felt like this was good. This is good
Yeah,
juice, and people provided they good information. So I thought this was really good. So thank you, Jen, for
appreciate
having
you.
me.
Salute, salute. Reintroduce myself. Again, I'm Black Snake Moan. My end quote is talk is cheap, but it take money to buy land. Salute to all y'all.
You better know it.
Hold on, yeah, I gotta stop laughing. I was not expecting that. Of course, y'all know me. It's your co-host, G-Way or No Way. Y'all can catch me every Saturday. My bad, I said it wrong. Saturday
Yes.
night every at the Red Room Talk every 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Y'all can catch me pretty much any night during the week from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I got a sports show on Tuesday. I got a twerk show on Wednesday. I got Getting Lit on Thursday with Kingy. I got Red Light Special with me every Friday night. If you like R&B, that's the best place for you to be on a Friday night. But other than that, man, y'all hit me with the fave. I look forward to seeing y'all. Shout out to everybody in the building. Special shout out. I want to say this. I know Jen's looking at me like, shut up. But special shout out to all my Leos in the jungle. It is our season. Let's eat.
Yes, baby.
And
They ain't ready. They wasn't
for
ready. They
y'all,
never ready for us.
okay? Just know we're
That's
right behind
right.
you, holding that leash, waiting for y'all to get out of here. Okay.
Whoa.
Whoa. Hold it now. Hold on. Hold it.
Not too much, Jen. Not too much.
Okay. I am your host, Jen and Juice. You can find me every Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You got to say it that way or it does not count, okay? And I'm going to teach y'all my ways, okay? Okay? But if you don't find me here, you will find me. I actually do graphics for Mr. Black Snake Moan. I do graphics for a couple of the Dream Team. I do graphics for a couple of the top badges out here. Kingy being one of them. I'm part of the Getting Lit Studios crew. You can find that's every Thursday at 9 p.m. Y'all make sure you pull up there with Kingy. And you can find me late nights, and then we have some new things coming. I don't want to talk about it quite yet, but we have some new content coming to you guys. There's some new and exciting things. So make sure y'all keep tapping in. But I've enjoyed the show. Sassy Red, hats off to you for jumping in when I needed you. Look,
Yes.
you were the guest I didn't know I needed, but we needed. But I love all of you. I love having you, Calypso, of course. We always have such great talks. And you too, Black. And as always, G Way, the best co host I could ask for. But we are back and we are better. This is the season 4 premiere, y'all. So thank you so much for pulling up, y'all. And check in next Saturday. We got something better. We have an all male cast. We're going to talk about men's mental health. So make sure y'all pull up because it's going to be a great one. It's going to be deep. So make sure y'all pull up. Look, it's not just for men. Women can come listen to how men think. So go ahead and pull up next Saturday for that show, y'all. It's going to be a good one. So I'm gonna go ahead and play some music. So an outro for YouTube, y'all. And go ahead while you're waiting. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel, okay? Subscribe, follow, like it too, comment. he was a graphic, y'all. Thank you, Diamond. Also, shout out to Diamond Supply for pulling up and giving us our rundown.
Quantum Sounds Production. What up, sound?